Verrazano estate in the tasting room with Leonardo Frescobaldi. We just went through a fascinating tasting, both of their Chardonnay, their top Chardonnay, and their top, what Leonardo calls their great Tuscan wine, the Mormoretto, which is a blend of 4 grapes. So, Leonardo, why don't you take us through the tasting that we just did with the Chardonnay and then the Mormoretto?
Jim, with great pleasure. I mean, here we had just a selection, 4 vintage and 5 vintage of the Mormoretto, 4 vintage of the Pomino Benefizio, which is really for Frescobaldi the top wine, the top white wine. Is a single vineyards at very high altitude, is about 2,000 feet above sea level, and made with Chardonnay.
If we can go through this for a minute, the 2008 was very fresh, some great tropical fruits and more New World style, I think, with that 2008, as you were saying.
Exactly, I agree with you totally, Jim. And said 2007 was more Burgundy, more Merceau, elegant, refined, with some also acidity that makes your tongue ready to have a second and a third sip.
And that's what that acidity does, it cleanses your palate. The year 2000, and again, here's a wine that's 11 years old, that one became more fleshy, full,
fruity, tropical, rich.
Really, I mean, almost, in some ways, a little bit California New World style, but not with too much vanilla or too much toast, just perfectly rounded, aging just beautifully, Leonardo. And the 1995, again, even, richer, very long finish, some as you were saying, apricot
nose, very strong in the nose, very beautiful and fascinating in the nose. And then in the mouth, we get, the origin of the Tuscany, I mean, that at high elevation, a certain acidity, and a saltiness, which refresh your palate.
That's right. So here's a wine 16 years old and still just beautiful, round and fresh. And then we go over to their fabulous, their great Tuscan Mormoretto. We tasted a whole variety of here, and why don't we start with the 2008?
2008 is the current vintage. In the United States, the wine is made with Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, just a little of Cabernet Franc and Petit Verdot. So very classic Bordeaux style.
And we also have the 2004, the 2001, which are developing just beautifully. Can you talk about that for just a moment?
2001 and 2004. 2004 is opulent, rich, very much New World. 2001 is I would say more European. 99 instead, it is for me a perfect example of a wine that pleases the palate. Is so gentle, harmonious, silky, that someone has defined this wine a feminine example of Mormoretto.
Would you agree that the 2008 to 2007, still being somewhat young, needs some time still to rest and to open up in the years ahead?
Particularly the 2008 certainly, but I would say 2007 need to be kept. Is a wine that requests to exercise patience. And in life, nothing is easy. We had to gain, and in order to gain pleasure, we have to do some sacrifice. In that case, patience is what is important to have.
And I think even the 2004 could, as beautiful as it is, I think if people are patient with that, but you have to be patient to let it develop more, but it's just so delicious, it's almost difficult not to drink it right now, it's so beautiful. And you think the 1999 is probably ready to enjoy now?
I would say 99 and 2001, I will go for that. Because they are wine which they are mature, but they are wine that retain the fruit. I love the fruit. When a wine becomes too old and too dry, you know, for me is in a certain way losing their appeal. I still prefer wine between 8 and 15 years old, not more than that.
And I'm going to ask you one last question because we asked this earlier and it was such an eloquent answer. What is your definition of a great wine?
Well, a great wine is, for me, a wine that has his own character, his own individuality, and a wine that is loyal to the place where the wine comes from. A wine that has the sense of place. A wine that has his typicity. That, for me, is the definition of a great wine.